Howdy, y'all. Welcome to another edition of the Archeryshack Shop Talk. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
We're back again for number 56. Thanks for tuning in. Got all kind of stuff to talk about. Our hunting season has started. I'm going to do a quick adjustment. Okay. Our hunting season has started. We'll do one more quick adjustment. Stand by. Okay. I was just playing with her. Okay, that's better. It was blasting in our ear.
Oh, yeah.
Hope y'all are having a good... I know a lot of states have opened. Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky. I don't know who all else, but that's the ones that I personally know about.
I know a lot of them aren't going open until October 1st, I think.
Gotcha.
I know, I think I seen Ohio was one of them.
Here in upstate South Carolina, we opened on the 15th, run through like October the 1st. Then we do some muzzleloader and archery action. And then middle October is guns, muzzleloaders, archery, whatever you want to shoot. So
Yeah.
good times, good times. Have y'all shot anything? I hadn't been in the woods.
Me neither.
Another week or so, I'll be getting my stuff together finally, but just trying to get everybody going here. And most of our bows have been picked up. We still got a lot of random nitpicky stuff to get finished up for folks, but it was a wild before the season year for us.
Yeah, it was.
But we'll jump right into it. I wanted to talk about I learned a valuable lesson on removing an insert. I had seen, of all people, the Ranch Fairy talking about removing a insert with a drill bit. So we tested it. I've seen it done. I hadn't personally done it before, but I thought, well, it might be a way to not damage the carbon and get out an insert. So here's what I learned. If you're not careful, that drill bit will expand the back of the insert, the metal, and will still crack the arrow, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I had seen him post about it, and I thought, well, I'm going to give it a shot. You know, when people come in and for one reason or another we need to pull out an insert or a tip that's glued in, really the only way to do it is to put in a junkie field tip, something we got laying around, heat the very tip of it and try to get it just hot enough to ease it out, And it's probably a 90% success rate, but out of a dozen arrows, there's usually like one that's going to crack. And we always tell people ahead of time, this is a possibility. So I was just trying to come up with a different idea, but I found a drill bit, just inside the diameter of the arrow. We slid it down the back, slapped it a few times. Nothing really happened, kept slapping it, and it literally expanded the metal on the back of the insert and cracked the arrow an inch or so back where the back of the insert was at. And I was like, what in the hell? But anyway, lesson learned on that one. Thought I'd share it with you so you didn't. We tried it on a junk arrow and it popped it out. It's just, I guess, according to...
I guess what glue or adhesive you use, I don't know.
I would like to do more testing on junk arrows before I would say do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to share that info with you. That's something I hadn't had a lot of experience with. I've seen a few people do it randomly over the years and never thought much about it. Just kind of thought, well, that's sort of redneck. But then after I got to thinking about it, I was like, well, if this would work, even though it's a pain in the butt, we could potentially not worry about cracking an arrow. But
yeah,
so far, no good. Question we get all the time: my broadheads are not shooting good. And just to cover it, in general, it could be a lot of stuff. We normally start with, is your bow tuned? Is your cams timed? That sort of thing. If that's the case, really the first thing to do is get you an arrow spinner. I can't remember if I've got one linked in the description or not. If not, I'll try to remember to put a link for one. But for like, I don't know, $20 or less, you can get an arrow spinner. Put your broadheads on the arrow and spin it, because not so much now, but definitely older broadheads and muzzies back in the day were the worst. They had that coarse thread on the trocar tip, and you could spin them and them things would wobble. And that was the problem. But I've had people come in, man, my broadheads are crazy, whatever. I'd say, whoop out you 6 arrows with broadheads on them. I'd start spinning them, and like 2 of the 6, the tip would have wobble in it. So there's a couple things you can do. The main thing being, when you put the insert in, use an epoxy that's going to take a little while to set. And most inserts have just the tiniest bit of play wiggle in them. Spin it and pretty much get that insert right to where that broadhead's straight. That would be my advice. But just 40-50% of the problem's going to be something like that. And then a lot of people just hadn't shot their bow and had it tuned, you know, and their arrows are already flying like crazy. And then you get into the fine mechanics of, like, if I cannot get one to act right, I go to the bare shaft portion of it. And then at that point, my thinking is, if it's pushing this bare shaft perfect, then that's about as good as we can get. Yeah. So then you got to start looking at other things. But I kind of go through our normal tuning method, paper tune, all that stuff with a field tip. Somebody's having trouble, we make sure we spun their arrows, make sure the cam timing's right, all that sort of thing. Because, you know, I've seen them, they'll bullet hole, but it's got something a little funky coming out of the bow, and with that broadhead on the front, it's catching all that extra drag, and it's exaggerating what's going on. So I guess my answer would be, spin your arrows, make sure the bow's been tuned and paper tuned, walk back tune it, and then finally, if you have to, do a bare shaft tune and see what your bare shafts are doing versus your fletched arrows, both without broadheads. And if something wild's going on, then you can, you know, I mean, there's all kind of stuff you can get into. Cam lean, a little bit of a rest adjustment, just all sorts of stuff. But
yeah. Well, you know, the biggest thing we used to see is, or we did, is, especially people running fixed blade, is they want their blades to line up with their fletchings.
Yeah.
Is, you know, I mean, we still do it for people because people still like that. So
I used to always do that, and then I sort of quit believing in it because somebody I was talking to smarter than me said, what's the point? Because the arrow's twisting through the air, and by the time the drag from that blade gets 26, 28, 30 inches back to the vanes, that arrow's been twisted so much that it's not like it's doing anything, you know what I mean? So I do believe on a two-blade of shooting it straight up and down so that when the arrow's launched, if there, you know, if there's any knock travel issues, it's not going to plane on you, as people call it. But I don't hear near as much problem anymore, probably because people are shooting mechanicals. But we still have some people that come in and be like, man, my broadheads and my field tips and everything's shooting different. And, like, you know, most of them are people that pick their bow up a week before the season.
Yeah.
Pull it out of the closet, fire off a broadhead, and please, if you're going to hunt, at least shoot, even if you don't have a practice one, pick out one broadhead and at least shoot it, because you never know. If it's shooting 3 inches to the left and your first shot's on a deer, then that's a mess.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, we could, maybe broadhead tuning would be a good video to do here soon, but I just wanted to bring it up. Speaking of broadheads, we're not far away from starting to set up our broadhead test course, if we're going to call it that, or we'll come up with some kind of cool name. But we've reached the apex and just over it of our busy season. Within the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, we will have some free time finally.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we'll be not this Thursday, but next Thursday, if you're watching this when it comes out on Tuesday, we'll start our live feedback. I don't have a date, but it's pretty much 2 Thursdays from now. I think we'll be calmed down enough to go back to our live feed and start doing that sort of thing again. So I know I've got a lot of texts, people saying, where y'all at? And I'm like, just give us a couple weeks. We can't, we got to the point of, I don't want to spend time not getting people ready to go into the woods, you know, and we're right on top of deer season. So I just like, let's just chill out for a couple of weeks and then we'll jump back in there. So
yeah,
we got that going on. A couple Thursdays from now, it'll be the same time. What was we doing? 6:30?
6:30.
So that'll be good. Somebody asked me about nose button alternatives if you don't use the Bomar button. And what we used to do would just be to, you know, I'd like have somebody pull the bow back, maybe take a piece of chalk or whatever I could take and mark where their nose was at. And then I would just take serving and make 3 or 4 rows of knots, kind of like I do if you've watched the tuning videos on the inside of that loop. just enough to feel it with your nose, and just use serving. It's basically free. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've done that before. So that would be an option. You wouldn't really want to. Somebody was asking me about a kisser button. You wouldn't want to put a kisser button up there because that'd be a big old joker to try to put on your nose. You just need the slightest reference.
We've took just the single nitro buttons and just kind of not really sand them down because it's a piece of rubber, but just kind of took it down a little bit. We've run it. I run those as kisser buttons. I like those a little bit more as a kisser than I do an actual kisser.
Yeah,
but
you could use a brass knock, although it's going to be on the bare bowstring, so you might have to serve up under it so it don't slide around. But all those are all. But somebody was asking, do I have to use this particular thing? And I was like, nope, not at all. So those are options. Speaking of upcoming videos earlier, we had a company reach out to us and send us a bow that we're going to be reviewing here in the next week or two. It's a different type of bow. It's a Chinese company and all this, but we've seen a couple come in the shop. So I said, send it to us. We'll check it out. See what. I just told them we're going to be honest. You know what I mean? If it's great, I'm going to say it's great. If it's junk, I'm going to say it's junk. And they said that's fine. So that we just got it. That'll be coming out soon. And we hadn't even touched it yet, so I don't know what the results is of that. But I'm looking forward to doing that. So
I ain't even seen it. I ain't seen. Well, I seen the box.
Yeah, I hadn't even opened the box because I wanted to do a complete unboxing. Here's what you get, and then go from there. But we'll get it going here sooner than later. We're just trying to stay caught up. But that'll be cool, and maybe it'll lead to more companies sending bows. And I mean, we're just going. People they never believe it when I say it, but it'll be a completely unbiased review. You know what I mean? Like if we don't carry Bowtech, for example, but I've done tuning videos of Bowtechs. I think Bowtech's a good company. And if I shot one and did a review on it, I would completely tell you what I thought about it, whether we sell it or not. And in the past, I've had people be like, oh, y'all sell them, you're going to say it's great. Well, I mean, if something shoots good and we can get a hold of it and have the opportunity to get a hold of it, and there's not a dealer close to us to where we can get it, because you may not know this, but most bigger manufacturers, you got to be so far apart from another dealer.
Yeah.
Matthews, for example, they make a great bow, but I'm too close to another dealer to get them. So, I think they make a great bow, and I'll say that, but I can't sell them. Prime makes a great bow, and we can get them, so we sell them. So, and 3 years ago, we seen that they were a great bow, and we got them. So we try to get stuff that we like, and
that's like we've said on many podcasts, especially when we was doing our little product review at the beginning of them. We are not sponsored by any companies.
No.
We, whatever you see us shoot on our bows, we've actually paid the same amount, same price y'all do.
Yeah.
We still have to pay for our equipment. We're not sponsors. We're not sponsored. We're not getting a deal or anything like that.
Yeah. It's just, we shoot what we want to shoot. We've shot in the past, we shot Matthews, PSC, Prime, Obsession, all kinds of stuff. And it's just that year we really liked that model, and that's what we went with. So
yeah.
But anyway, But they sent us a bow. More details will come out in the next few weeks. You'll see videos popping up. I'm gonna do like an unboxing of here's what it came with, and then I'm gonna do a complete. We take it outside and shoot it through the chronograph and sound and the whole 9 yards, and just say, all right, here's the deal. It's a I don't want to give out all the information yet, but it's one of the super adjustable type bows. It puts you in the mind of something along the lines of an Infinite Edge, but it is cheaper.
Let's just say it's geared more towards a super duper beginner.
Yeah, or a kid.
That that's pretty much what this bow is geared for.
But anyway, I'll be curious to see. We had another. Just speaking of Chinese bows in general, we had another one come in to get a string on it this week. And, from our experience, some of the Chinese companies have almost copied American companies. I'm not a big fan of that. And you can tell when you shoot them, these are half the price, but they definitely don't shoot as good.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And then some of them hadn't copied, but still make an okay product for a $200 to $300 bow. You know what I mean? So we'll just see. We'll see where it leads, and maybe it'll open the door for more companies to send stuff, and I feel like these videos will get a little more traction than normal because it's a popular bow and people want to know about it and that sort of thing. So it's just a fine line of us having a shop. I don't want people to say, oh, y'all are saying that because you're selling them or whatever, because like these bows, I mean, we might get some sort of affiliate situation going on, but I seriously doubt we're going to be importing bows from China to sell in this shop. You know what I mean? It may be one of those, like, if you order it, we get 1.5% commission or something.
Yeah, something like that.
But, I mean, I doubt you're going to see them in here. But we'll see what happens when we shoot it. We'll go from there.
Yep.
But just wanted to let y'all know about that. Man, our walls look bare and empty. A month ago, it looked like we were the Walmart of archery stores, and now it looks like we're the flea market. Cause we still got stuff, but our arrow wall is almost depleted. A lot of broadheads are gone. A lot of targets are gone. We've literally sold every bear bow that we had on the wall. Mm-hmm. We got one crossbow from bear left, and it's supposed to be gone this week.
Yeah.
We still got some prime bows left, but we sold several of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's been wild. It's been something else. We've ran out of stuff. We ran out of outlaw arrows one week, luckily before the weekend, and I had to overnight them here. Those nose buttons we've ran out of several times.
Yeah.
We almost ran out of field tips, peep sights. I mean, just crazy stuff. It was like, bam, okay, let's get it here. But
let's change gears real quick on something. And, you know, one of our Brad, he normally watches us on our live feeds, and I know he listens to the podcast, but now he's specifically asking about a prime bow, mm-hmm. but he says that what is the best 2 or 3 prime bows for indoor and 3D? The bow will be used strictly as a tournament rig. So he's not going to be hunting or anything like that.
You really got 2 options. You got the 35-inch Black 5 or the 39-inch Black 9, mm-hmm. and I don't know which way to tell you to go. I wish they had a 37 because I'd say go to 37. I've got the Black 9. TJ got a 5 and set it up, and he's going to like hunt with it, do the total archery with it, do this, that, and other with it.
Mm-hmm.
And very first part of this year, I shot a Black 5 indoor just because the 9s wasn't shipping yet, and I did great with it. And it wasn't a bad indoor bow, but I do think you might want a little longer bow for indoor. But I will say our 39-inch bows are a little big to tote around the 3D range. I mean, by far they're shorter than bows used to be.
Yeah.
And it's no big deal. But if they offered a 37, and I have no insight to whether they ever will, but like if they came out with a 37, I would probably jump on one because that's like I like that length.
You know, I think if it's just strictly indoor 3D bow, you know, you can run a 35-inch axle bow. It ain't going to hurt not one thing. But if it's strictly going to be indoor and 3D, I'd probably run 39.
Yeah,
I really would.
Yeah. If it was very little indoor, I'd look more to 35.
I would too.
But I'm probably with you. I'd probably go 39. And I'll tell you a question I had wrote down. Somebody asked if you could do one thing or upgrade one thing on a prime bow, what would it be? And by far, it would be
string
stop. I don't know why, but their string stop sounds like a drum, and it's hollow on the inside. We've been ordering those Cool Hand Luke stops a lot, and it's like night and day difference. And a few people, last year even, somebody was like, this bow's a little loud. We switched to stop out, and it was boom, it's gone. So I wish they would pay attention because it's all over Facebook and Archery Talk and all that. People are switching out to those other stops, and I hadn't tried one yet, but the high-tech stop's supposed to be about as good as Cool Hand Luke, but that would be it. Change that string stop, which he's only charging, what, $20-25 for them?
I think it's 25. I can't remember. I need to order 2 myself.
I've been trying to get a hold of him and have not done well with that in about 2 weeks, but I need to try again. I know he gets swamped with orders. He makes them for any bow. He makes quick disconnects, string stops for any bow. You just tell them what you got. it won't be long. We're weeks away from PSE and Bear coming out with some bows. I hadn't heard any rumors yet, but I got something from PSE. I think it said September the 28th or 9th they were going to release some information. And Bear's normally like first week of October, so we should be all over that. I mentioned before we ran out of Bear bows, and that sucks because we could have sold probably another dozen of them.
Yeah.
But we've only got a couple on order because why it's going to take several weeks to get them. I might as well just wait till the 2021s come out.
Yeah.
And I guess it was a learning opportunity for us. We should have had more Bear bows this year. But anyway, and I'm hoping PSE comes out with something strong. I'd like to get back into playing with some PSEs, and I hadn't heard anything out of Prime. I could see Prime waiting until the ATA show, but I don't know that.
I know it's rumored, or Matthews may have already sent something out, but I know Matthews and is it Hoyt did have it.
There were several, but I can't remember who the several were.
I can't remember either, but they said they wasn't going to release till first of the year, so I'm assuming that'll be around ATA time.
Yeah. Speaking of ATA, I've been chatting with them a little bit. They said they're still on for the Indianapolis show this coming January, second week of January, whatever it is. So as it sits, we're still planning. We'll be there as normal. I figure at the most we'll just have to wear a mask or whatever. It's not a huge deal, but I know last year this year, some of our better viewed videos were some of those ATA things, and we kind of learned what people want to know about and hear about and all that stuff, so we'll put that into it this year and try to get more. Like I know our first day video, the ATA show, if you're new and don't know, is the once a year there's a huge archery show just for dealers. The public can't get in, it's just archery shops, and everybody that's anybody what to do with archery has a booth set up. And it's ultimately, we save a few percent if we order in January and have it ship in the summer, because then the manufacturer knows how much product to make.
Yeah.
So we do, 60-70% of our ordering in January at that show, but we get to see all the brand new stuff that just came out and handle it and all that stuff. So this past January, whatever you want to call it, our first day of video was just kind of boring. You know what I mean? We were like, we're wore out. But I think this year I'll try to take a camera in with us and get some video of product, and we get 1 million brochures, so at least we can hold it up and say, here's what it looks like, we handled it, blah, 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 blah. Because the second day, people love that video. It was a lot of, here's what we've seen, here's some information stuff. So we'll try to stick to that this year. But yeah, so far it's a go for January 2021, and they said if there's anything that changes, they'll let us know. But I'll be looking forward to that. It's in Indianapolis. It's a good venue up there. It's just a long ride for us, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, it is a good little ride. But, we'll do our best with the camera, because I know they've changed some of their rules this past year. Like, the very first day, there was no kind of media people allowed in there, which, I thought was a pretty good idea, but the second day it gets kind of hectic because all the media people are trying to get in to interview all these people, and
But like I say, we might just tote around 2 cameras, and we're not media. We're our shop, so I don't think nobody would care. As long as it ain't like we're gonna be rolling around a big boom camera. We'll just have something small, but I'm looking forward to that. Get through hunting season, and then bam, it's Christmas ATA time. So
a
lot of people have asked what all string colors we make. So I'm going to pop up on the screen right now the BCY color chart. We primarily use BCY materials, and for the most part, we stock every one of these colors. I'll have it on the screen just for you to take a glimpse of it. And in the same sentence, there's a couple colors
you're speckled
that blend with each other. The black, the OD green, and the dark brown. If you mix them together, and some people have,
and gunmetal.
Yeah, and they're so dark You literally cannot tell them apart. And we have made strings with these colors mixed together, and we'll get a call or email or whatever and say, "Oh, you made my string solid black," and be like, "We didn't actually." And I'm not trying to be an asshole to these people, but we, I can send them a picture. Here's a spool of black. Here's a spool of green, and you can tell. I mean, the just very slightest difference in them, and it's mainly the dark brown, the OD green, the black, and the gunmetal is real dark too. So just throwing that out there. And then
speckled only comes in 454 and 452X.
Yeah.
They don't make it in X99, which is our
main stuff.
main stuff.
And there's a couple, like their green to me is more of a mini green. And then there's like a yellow that's really more like a gold, and then flow yellow is like a bright yellow. But you'll see on the color chart a little bit. And if you have any questions, holler at us. But I just thought I'd pop it up there. People ask all the time about it. So there you go. I was going to talk about something else. Okay, I got a question. What is your favorite vein? Recently ordered some 3-inch veins and did for a guy. I had somebody else want some 4-inch veins that I can't even find anymore. Blazers by far is what we put on in the shop, because that's pretty much just the standard now. And love them or hate them. I mean, I don't have any problem with a blazer.
Either.
When they first came out, I had problems with them sticking, but we're talking about like 2006-07 time frame, and they fixed all that. So what do you like? I really like Fletch. They're a little more expensive, but we don't really get a request for them.
Yeah.
I really like AAE. Again, not really a request for them. That's probably behind the Blazer. Probably AAE is the second most requested.
I would like to get. I know a lot of people are shooting them, but those what are they? Vein Techs?
Yep.
I'd like to get some of them and tinker with.
I think there's a few over there. I have to look, but what is your favorite vein? Put it in the comments. Just curious to know, other. I mean, if it's a Blazer, put Blazer by all means, but just some of these other veins, I'm curious to know what people are shooting, just to see if we should stock different stuff or not.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess we will wrap this thing up. Keep it short and sweet. Hope y'all are having a good hunting season. If it's started, if you've shot something, go to the Facebook group, Friends of the Archeryshack. Post a picture. We'd love to see it. I've been trying to tell people in the shop to post their pictures, and I don't think I've seen any pop up yet. But I've been getting some text of people, local customers, shooting pretty good deer. So congratulations on that. And
just remember, always wear your safety harness in the tree.
Absolutely. Be safe.
Yep.
And we'll see y'all next time.
See y'all.